Marshall. We're
It's a
live.
bit too late for that, man. We're live now.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the one and only Monday Night Live with Marshall, the King Charles Cavalier, your host, Mr. Nathaniel Bibby, and our guest of honor, the hostess with the mostess, the speaking guru, Shil Shangabi. Welcome, Shil.
Thank you. Except you call me the hostess with the mostest.
Well, you know.
Come on, dude.
It sounded good at the time, bro. Marshall's only there for the first few seconds to get you guys get your attention. So Shil, I'll give you a bit of background for those of you that have been living under a rock for the past couple of years and don't know who Shil is. You like that one?
That was better than the hostess with the mostest. Yes.
So back when we could do live events, Shil would join me, and he would MC a lot of the events. When we did the LinkedIn versus Instagram tour, he rocked Perth. I mean, we had the biggest turnout in WA. It was a full house. There must have been almost 200 people there, and it was a lot of fun, wasn't it, Shil?
It was great fun with you and Brooke. It was amazing. Full house, pumping atmosphere. It was awesome.
So just to continue this background, like I met Shil off of LinkedIn, as you do, as I meet a lot of professionals locally, and we had a meeting. I think it went on for far too long. We knew that we wanted to do something together. What impressed me the most is Shil explained to me why he got into public speaking, and it was to deal with a issue with stuttering, wasn't it? And I was so impressed that you're now a TEDx coach, speaking coach, and we worked together for a while. Shil soon found out that I wasn't very good at following instructions, but I got a lot out of it, and we've done some work on LinkedIn together, which has been a lot of fun. Shil, share with the audience a story about why you got into public speaking. I think it's a good one. I get a lot of value out of it.
Sure. Well, you covered a lot of it. I got into speaking primarily for two reasons. The biggest one, the first one being my stutter, the issues I've got with my speaking and my fluency. And so a comment I have of a lot of people is I don't sound like I have one. And the reason that is because I control it. I put a lot of thought and time and effort into my words, my language, and the way I speak. So for me, getting into public speaking was a good way to control my stutter. And the second one was I was employed in the construction, the commercial architecture construction game for about 10 years, and I didn't want to do it anymore. And I fell in love with all things public speaking. So I went from being a person who's not been able to speak very well to somebody who now can control it. And so I found a love for the biggest fear I have, and I decided to pursue it.
So tell us, do you still get nervous?
Yes, I'm nervous now. Yeah, I always get nervous.
And so tell us how you manage your stutter and the nerves, given that you're constantly, probably bar the past 2-3 months, speaking all the time.
It's difficult. I'm not going to lie. It is challenging because there's so much effort which goes into controlling the thought process, the breathing, the syncing, the rhythm, the tapping. There's so much which is involved that it's exhausting on the mind. And so there are bad days where I can't control it. There are days where I just switch off. I don't see people. I don't call clients. I just don't do anything because it's too overwhelming for me. And I found by just accepting it and by telling people it's there, whenever it does come out now, I'm not as conscious about it anymore. Whereas before, I was extremely conscious. If it came out, I would go down a spiral of stress and the worry and about what other people are thinking about me. But all that's now gone because I've just accepted it, and it just is how it is.
Yeah. And when you do speak from stage, I think you're a fantastic storyteller, and a lot of
Thanks.
that has to do with being vulnerable. Is that something that you do with intention?
It's something I do because it makes, it's like a pressure valve. You know, when you're up on stage, there's a lot of pressure, a lot of intensity. There's the fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of, am I going to make a mistake? And so I feel by just being upfront and honest about the reservations, the nerves, and so forth, it's relieving the pressure off the valve, and it's almost like this. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I feel by expressing the fear and the vulnerability I have, it's a way for me to connect with the audience. It's a way for the audience to connect with me. And because the reality is, what I feel, what I still feel, is something that a lot of people feel. And so why not just be open and honest about it and say, yeah, I am nervous. I am scared. And there's nothing bad with that. There's nothing wrong with saying that.
And I know the answer to this question, but I'm sort of setting you up here. But how much preparation do you put into these keynotes?
Why did you say you were setting me up here? Tell me why you said that.
I know you put a lot of work in.
Yeah, I put a lot of effort in. I put a lot of work in. I don't leave anything to. I try not to leave anything to chance, and I just feel. For myself anyway, the more I prepare, the more confident I feel. And I suppose the evolution for me is now to do things with less preparation, you know, to do things more off the cuff and off the fly, which I am doing, which I can do. However, the reason I prepare, the reason I prepare is so that I can sense and see the words that I'm approaching. Because if there's a combination, like say S's, R's, T's, L's, M's, if the words in those combinations are coming up and I haven't planned out the way I'm going to say it, I can't say them. Yeah. So the level of planning is more around being able to control my language and my fluency.
And so for the people that are watching that have, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems to me the biggest thing is getting over the fear of being on stage and public speaking. Is that the case? And if so, how do people go about getting over that fear that they have?
Yep, it is. However, I'll correct the one thing. It's a lot of people say you overcome it or you get over it. And I don't think you can overcome it. I don't think you can get over it because it's always going to be there. For a lot of us, it's always going to be there. And there's a famous quote by Mark Twain where he wrote, there are two types of speakers, those who are nervous and those who are liars. And I love that quote because it is so true. Even the most experienced professional speakers and presenters I know get nervous. And so I don't think you can overcome it. I think you can control it. And in order to control it, you need clarity in what you want to say. You need to have a clear plan with how you want to deliver it, what the objective is, what you want your audience to walk away with. So everything I do is around clarity.
And there's a thin line, or I believe anyway, let me know your thoughts on this, between being nervous and being excited, isn't there?
Yeah, well, I think it's the emotions are almost the same. You learn to channel your nerves into excited nerves. And you're great at this, where you channel the nerves in the right way. So your heart's thumping, the adrenaline's pumping, but as soon as you're up there, you channel it in the right way, huh?
Thank you. I got to cut that bit out and make it a short Instagram video or something. Appreciate that, Shil. Have I gone blurry? We're focusing. There we go.
No, you're okay.
Shil, the last few months, things have changed, haven't they? And for those of us that are in events, we've had to do some innovation. I personally have run the 7 steps of LinkedIn influence via Zoom. We didn't have a bigger turnout as we did when we do the live events, but we did that. How have you found that you've had to adapt your business model? If you feel comfortable sharing with us, how it's affected your business.
Sure, I'm comfortable in sharing it, and I'm also conscious that what I say may come across in the wrong way. It's certainly not it's not intended to, but the reality is it hasn't been too bad for me. And I say I'm conscious in saying that because I appreciate how tough it's been for so many people. And so when all of this first started, the first 2 or 3 days were terrible for me. I either I lost or I had work postponed or canceled. All events were gone, as you know.
Yeah.
And probably 70-80% of my current work in my pipeline was gone. And so I sort of frame my mind into thinking, well, I've got a choice here. I can either stress and panic about this, or I can shift gears, adapt, think smart. And so I went down the shift gear path. And what we've gone through has almost unlocked a part of my brain, which has made me think smarter. And because of that, I've been doing a lot more collaborations. I've been a lot more active online. I've still been true to what I do, presenting and speaking. I've done a lot of online stuff now. So Zoom presenting, the webinars, how to speak on camera. And so I've still stayed true to my niche, to my field. But I found, because of all the work I've been doing in the last, say, 12 months, my networking, my events, my brand building, it's all started to pay off. And so the last 2 months in particular have been pretty good to me.
Fantastic. I'm so pleased to hear that. Yeah, I mean, we have been forced to innovate, all of us, even just to get by, or even the guys that have, lost 80% of their business have been forced to do some sort of innovation.
Absolutely. And look, it sucks. Let's not kid ourselves here. It's tough, it's challenging, it's all the cliche terms that everybody's throwing around at the moment, and we're all going through it. I certainly did. I still am. And there's the fear factor. However, starting Chatterbox was a scary experience. And I've been through so many different incidents and challenges in my life that I saw this as another one. Okay, this is something else I need to deal with. How am I going to deal with this? Do I have the network to leverage off to deal with this? What have I done within the industry, within my niche, that I can now convert into online? Because that has been the only way to work at the moment, is online. And thankfully, I've actually done a lot of online speaking and presenting, so I'm extremely comfortable with that. I'm nervous, but I'm comfortable with that. But it's translating that to the people I see and talk to. So it's been a shift, but it's been a good shift.
Yeah, from my perspective, I reflecting, I think that what they say about what doesn't kill you makes you stronger can apply in this business as well. I sat down with a team when we first got, not when we first got the news, but when it really started to hit home, when my family started cancelling coming around for dinner because of the virus, I started to pay attention. And
is that why they were cancelling? I just thought they didn't want to see you.
Yeah, well, who knows? Any excuse, right?
But now they come because of Marshall, right? That's the only reason they come over now.
You've got me. Yeah, that people don't really know. I bought it as a social asset, but it's doing the trick. No, look. So I said to the team, I sat down with Gemma, and we said, the only way that we're going to get through this is to double down on customer service. We've got to really take care of the clients that we've got. And fortunately, we haven't lost any. And to be honest, this is one area of that business which is making progress. The LinkedIn marketing, people are spending more time on there. And the interesting thing is, we started getting referrals. So I think we've got a much stronger business, because when things are going well, there's no challenges. You spend all your time trying to fill up the bucket. You don't notice if there's a couple holes in the bottom.
Great way to put it. Yeah.
So I thought I'd just share that. Shil, I know you've got a number of projects on the go. What are a couple that you're excited about at the moment?
Well, the biggest one, unequivocally, is my next event. And it might sound strange to say that, considering the situation we're in. However, I did a post about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, about a new concept I have, and I'm planning on doing my equivalent of a TED Talk about it. And so that's been trending very well with my social channels. It's it's a big deal for me. I'm putting everything on the line for this. My practice, my name, my reputation, everything.
Is this a live event or a?
It is a
online?
live event. Yes, it is a
Oh,
live
wow.
event, and I'm speaking to venues at the moment. I've actually just confirmed the venue, and with that, we're adhering to all the regulations, all the guidelines. We're ensuring that all the measures are ticked, all the boxes are ticked for safety, for hygiene, OH&S. So there's meticulous planning going into this, because the interest I've had, the registrations I've had, the people that are going to be in the room, it's going to be a really cool event. And I want people to come to this and feel, if this is one of the events we came to straight after the lockdown, I want it to be a superstar event.
Yeah. What's the topic of the event? You may have said, but just remind me.
All I've said is that it's a game changer.
So what's the event about? What are you speaking about?
I can't say.
Mate, you got me intrigued, and now you're leaving me hanging.
I can't say. What I will say this is that it has trended incredibly well on my social channels. I've had over 200 people who've registered, more coming through every day, and I haven't even done I haven't even tried to push it. It's just been one post, and it's gone ballistic. So there is interest, and because there's been so much of an interest, obviously I want to do a great job presenting the idea, and to do that, I'm so blessed to have the support of a few key people in my network who've been incredible, with the advice and the mentorship that they're giving me.
Yeah.
So I'd like to do justice to myself and the idea, to the support I have and the people around me, and then to the audience that are coming to listen to this and be a part of something cool.
Cool. Sorry, I am not ignoring you. I'm just looking at some of the comments here. Okay. Hey, Philip. Hey, Mauricio. Philip, how you doing? Guys, I tell you what, drop some questions in the comments. I've got a couple more questions for Shil, but drop me some questions in the comments. I'm keeping an eye on it. Shil, you are one of the guys, and I don't say this to many people, that are doing a great job on LinkedIn. You're doing a great job with the content. I see your engagement. I see your numbers. It's all authentic engagement. I've said this before at live events. Can you share with us some of the things that you've been following that have attributed to that success? You don't have to give us your, what do they call it, your secret sauce, but maybe share some value that we could get from what you've been doing.
Well, look, coming from you, the LinkedIn APAC guy, the winner of the award for LinkedIn Asia Pacific, thank you. I appreciate it, and I'm flattered. My whole approach and strategy is stories.
Right.
Stories. And to tell stories, I understand my content's not for everyone. I get that. Some people won't like the stuff I post, and so my entire strategy has been around to showcase people who are in my network, to tell my own story, tell my progression, give some of the value around, let's call it tips for public speaking, things that I do. But all the messaging is based on storytelling. And so everything I post and share has a lot of thought behind it. I don't just post things for the sake of posting it. I'll think about why I want to share it, what the value is for the audience, how it's going to position me. And I don't always get it right. However, for the most part, it's worked for me.
Yeah, fantastic. So tell us more about this event. People are asking. They all want to know.
I cannot tell you any more about this event. All I can tell you is it's awesome.
So is it about public speaking, growing your business? Throw me a bone here.
I can't even throw you a bone.
Okay, well,
I shared a post a few weeks ago on LinkedIn. Yeah. I think it's it just went crazy. I've still got comments coming in on that, so that will give you a little snapshot of it. It'll just give you a little teaser about it. And so for anybody who's on this call, whose questions I cannot answer about it, I encourage you to go back to the event post. And if you're interested, drop your comment into the post. I've already got a LinkedIn event page, and I can add you onto the page.
Yeah, you can drop the link in the comments or something. So someone mentioned, how do you improve your English? So I guess I think that's probably got a lot to do with your vocabulary and the way that you string sentences together. I don't think they're talking about the language. I'm not sure. But what are your thoughts around that?
How do you improve your English? It's a tough one. Is it how have I improved my own English, or how does somebody else improve theirs? So I'll answer them both just to be sure. I've always spoken English. I was brought up in Kenya. English isn't my first language, but I've always spoken English.
Oh, really? Okay.
No, so I also speak Swahili and I speak Indian. So I actually speak 3 languages. Wow. And so when you're brought up in Kenya, you're brought up speaking a mixture of all 3. How would a non-English speaking person improve their English? Slow down and just practice.
Yeah.
But I would make a conscious effort to slow down.
Shout out to Avinash, who's here from India, just popped up on YouTube. Cool. And when you prepare, you're pretty much preparing word for word, aren't you? I mean, you used to, at least. No, I don't do that, because I find if I prepare, I used to, and then I found if I forget my words or I stuff it up, it would stress me out. So I prepare the content in a sequential flow that I understand. And the words I do prepare are the combinations, the sentences, the syllables where I know I'm going to struggle. A good example is the MC event. The intro I had there, I must have practiced that 50, 60 times. Wow. Because the combination of the words for that, in order for it to have the impact which I wanted it to have, I needed to say those words in the intro. Yeah. But if I didn't say it with my breath in a specific way, I would have stuttered severely on it. And so I had to script that and refine it over and over again. In fact, just before I got on and announced it, I must have gone through it 5 or 6 times just under my breath with the microphone off so people couldn't hear. Yeah, we did an awesome job, man. It was really fantastic. We're coming up to wrap up time, mate. So I want to just encourage the audience. If you got value, please let us know in the comments. Drop any questions. I know Shil's pretty active on LinkedIn. I'm sure he wouldn't mind hopping on and answering some of those in the chat. And if you've got anything that you want us to cover next week on Monday Night Live, or have any recommendations of who we could have on as a guest, let us know as well in the comments. That would really be appreciated. I want to keep providing you guys value. And Shil, mate, it's been a pleasure. It's always awesome talking to you. I hope we get to hear from you again, and I'm going to keep pushing you for more information on this event.
Thanks, buddy. And you. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Have a good week, guys. See ya.
Cheers.